In the bustling terminals of Chicago O'Hare International Airport, where thousands of stories intersect daily, one particular tale was about to unfold, a story that would remind us all of the extraordinary moments that can emerge from life's most ordinary settings. Among the constant flow of travelers, rolling suitcases, and overhead announcements, a simple melody would become the catalyst for something truly remarkable. The early morning sun painted long shadows across the terminal floor as travelers hurried past, their minds focused on destinations and deadlines. But in a quiet corner near Gate B7, where the morning rush had begun to settle, the gentle notes of a piano caught the attention of a few passers-by. The source was a young teen, seated at one of the airport's public pianos, his fingers dancing. Across the keys, with both hesitation and hope, the piano had seen better days, its once gleaming surface now marked by years of travelers' stories. But in the hands of this young musician, it sang with a grace that seemed to transcend its worn appearance. The teen, wearing a simple hoodie and jeans, played with the kind of concentration that made the rest of the world fade away, each note carrying the weight of countless hours of practice and determination. What the young pianist didn't know was that among the hurrying crowds, someone had stopped to listen. Jimmy Butler, fresh from leading his team to victory the night before, had been making his way through the terminal when the music caught his ear. But this wasn't about a celebrity spotting or a viral moment waiting to happen. This was about something far more fundamental, the pure appreciation of talent and the recognition of passion. Butler stood there, his usual game day intensity replaced by genuine curiosity. The young musician continued playing, unaware that one of the NBA's most dynamic players was among his impromptu audience. The melody, a complex piece that spoke of dedication and dreams, filled the space between gates and coffee shops, creating an oasis of artistry in the midst of travel's chaos. As the notes continued to flow, more travelers began to pause, pulled away from their phones and schedules by the undeniable talent on display. The teen's focus never wavered, each chord progression executed with a precision that spoke of countless hours of practice. His hoodie sleeves were pushed up to his elbows, revealing the careful positioning of his hands, the mark of someone who had studied proper technique, even if perhaps he couldn't afford regular lessons. Butler watched, his expression thoughtful. As someone who had fought his way up from challenging circumstances, he recognized something in the way the young musician played. A hunger for excellence, a desire to create something beautiful despite whatever obstacles life might present. The basketball star's own journey from Tomball, Texas, to NBA stardom had been paved with similar moments of dedication and practice when no one was watching. The piece the teen was playing wasn't just music. It was a statement of perseverance. Each note seemed to carry the weight of early mornings and late nights, of sacrifices made and challenges overcome. The kind of dedication Butler knew all too well from his own path to success. As he stood there, his scheduled departure time approaching, a plan began to form in his mind. What happened next would transform this chance encounter into something extraordinary. Butler, known for his intense competitiveness on the court, was about to demonstrate that the true measure of greatness lies not in what you achieve for yourself, but in how you lift others up along their own journey to excellence. The teen's fingers continued their dance across the keys, each measure building towards something greater than just a morning performance in an airport terminal. The music spoke of dreams that needed nurturing, of talent that deserved recognition, of potential waiting to be realized. And sometimes, that's all it takes. One person to recognize the spark in another and decide to fan it into flame. As the Peace approached its finale. The small crowd that had gathered held their breath, caught in the spell of unexpected beauty in an unlikely place. The last notes hung in the air, a testament to the power of passion and dedication. The teen finally looked up, seemingly surprised to find he had an audience. His eyes widened as he recognized the tall figure standing nearby, Jimmy Butler, known as much for his intensity on the court as for his commitment to excellence. But what was about to unfold wasn't about celebrity or status. It was about something far more fundamental, the recognition of dedication, the appreciation of art, and the understanding that sometimes all a dream needs to take flight is a little support from someone who's been there, someone who understands the value of hard work and perseverance. The morning light continued to stream through the terminal windows, casting long shadows across the floor. In this moment, suspended between destinations, something extraordinary was about to happen. The teens' performance had created a pocket of pure artistry in the midst of travel's chaos, and Jimmy Butler was about to ensure that this moment would become more than just a fleeting airport memory. As the last echoes of the piano faded into the ambient noise of the terminal, Butler approached the young musician. His presence, usually commanding attention on the basketball court, was different now. Thoughtful, appreciative, almost gentle. The teen looked up, recognition dawning in his eyes, but before he could speak, Butler gestured to the piano. "That was something special," Butler said, his voice carrying the weight of someone who understood the dedication required to master any craft. "How long have you been playing?" The teen's response was humble, speaking of years of practice on a borrowed keyboard, of YouTube tutorials and sheet music saved from library computers. His words painted a picture familiar to Butler, of passion pursuing excellence despite limited resources, of determination finding a way despite obstacles. Butler listened, really listened, in the way that only someone who's walked a similar path can. He heard not just the words, but the unspoken dreams behind them. The teen's story resonated with his own journey, reminding him of the power of opportunity and the impact of belief. Belief in oneself, and crucially, belief from others. The basketball star's next moves would demonstrate why he's known not just for his athletic prowess, but for his understanding of what it means to lift others up. But this wasn't about charity or a quick fix. It was about recognizing dedication and providing opportunity. Butler had always believed that talent, when combined with hard work, deserved to be nurtured. The morning continued to unfold around them, travelers rushing past with their rolling suitcases and coffee cups. But in this corner of the terminal, time seemed to slow down. The teen's performance had created something rare in the rushing world of air travel, a moment of genuine connection, of art transcending circumstances, of passion recognized and respected. What Butler was about to do would change the course of this young musician's journey. But more than that, it would remind everyone who would later hear this story of the power of kindness, of the importance of recognizing and nurturing talent wherever it's found, and of the impact that one person's belief can have on another's. Dreams. The terminal buzzed with its usual activity, announcements overhead, wheels rolling on tile floors, conversations merging into a constant hum. But in this moment, none of that mattered. What mattered was the recognition of excellence, the appreciation of dedication, and the understanding that sometimes the most important plays in life happen far from any court or stage. As Butler reached into his carry-on bag, his actions were about to transform this chance encounter into something lasting. This wasn't just about a moment of kindness. It was about understanding the power of opportunity, the importance of nurturing talent, and the responsibility that comes with success to help others achieve their dreams. The teen sat at the piano, his fingers still resting lightly on the keys, unaware that his morning practice session was about to become something much more significant. Butler's next move would demonstrate why he's respected not just for his game, but for his understanding of what it means to make a real difference in someone's life. In this moment, suspended between destinations, something extraordinary was taking shape. The teens' dedication had created an opportunity, and Jimmy Butler was about to ensure that this talent, this passion, this drive for excellence would have the chance it deserved to grow and flourish. The morning light continued to stream through the terminal, windows illuminating this scene of unexpected connection. In the world of fast-paced travel and hurried goodbyes, a moment of genuine human connection was about to transform into something more. A story of recognition, opportunity, and the power of believing in someone's dreams. What happened next would remind everyone that sometimes the most meaningful assists happen far from any basketball court, and that true greatness lies not just in personal achievement, but in the ability to recognize and nurture the potential in others. What happened next would become a story shared thousands of times across social media, but its true impact couldn't be captured in likes or shares. Butler, still standing near the airport piano, made a decision that would transform this chance encounter into something extraordinary. His next moves would show why he's known not just as a basketball star, but as someone who understands the true meaning of making a difference. "You know," Butler began, his voice carrying the warmth of genuine appreciation, "there's something special about practicing when you think no one's watching." He pulled up a nearby chair, settling in as if he had all the time in the world, despite the bustling airport around them. "That's when you show who you really are." The teen's eyes widened slightly, recognizing the truth in those words. His early morning practice sessions at the airport had always been about something more than just playing. They were about dedication, about making the most of whatever opportunities life presented. The piano, donated to the airport years ago, had become his sanctuary, a place where dreams could take flight between departures and arrivals. Butler leaned forward, his usual game face intensity replaced by genuine curiosity. "Tell me about your music," he said, not as a celebrity making small talk, but as someone who recognized the familiar signs of dedication and determination. "How did you get started?" The story that followed was one Butler understood all too well, a tale of passion pursuing excellence despite limited resources. The teen spoke of learning from YouTube videos, of practicing on a small keyboard borrowed from his school's music room, of downloading sheet music from library computers. Each word resonated with Butler's own journey from Tomball, Texas, to NBA stardom. Sometimes, the teen explained, his fingers absently tracing the piano keys, "I come here really early, before my classes. The security guards know me now. They say it's okay, as long as I don't disturb anyone." He smiled slightly. Most people are too busy to notice anyway. But Butler had noticed. And more than that, he had recognized something in the way the young musician played, a hunger for excellence that transcended circumstances. It was the same drive that had pushed Butler through countless early morning practices, through doubts and setbacks, through every obstacle on his path to success. The morning light continued to stream through the terminal windows, creating a gentle spotlight on this unexpected moment of connection. Around them, travelers hurried past, caught up in their own journeys. But here, in this corner of the airport, something meaningful was taking shape. "You know what I see when I watch you play?" Butler asked, his voice carrying the weight of someone who understood the value of mentorship. "I see hours of practice. I see dedication. I see someone who's willing to wake up early and put in the work when no one's watching." He paused, letting his words sink in. "That's what excellence looks like." The teen straightened slightly, pride and appreciation mixing in his expression. It wasn't just about receiving praise from a celebrity. It was about being truly seen, about having his dedication recognized by someone who understood what it meant to pursue excellence against the odds. Butler reached into his carry-on bag, his movements deliberate and thoughtful. I believe that when you see real talent, real dedication, you have a responsibility to help it grow. He pulled out his phone, his next words carefully chosen. I want to help you take this to the next level. What followed wasn't just a gesture of generosity. It was an investment in potential, a recognition of the power of opportunity. Butler began making calls, his connections in the Chicago music scene about to open doors that the teen had only dreamed about. But more than that, he was about to demonstrate why true leadership isn't just about personal achievement. It's about lifting others up along the way. Music lessons, Butler said, still on his phone, with the best teachers in Chicago. Twice a week, for as long as you want to keep learning. He looked at the teen, his expression serious. All I ask is that you keep putting in the work, keep showing up early, keep practicing when no one's watching. The teen's hands trembled slightly on the piano keys, the magnitude of this moment, sinking in. This wasn't charity, it was opportunity recognition, a chance to pursue excellence with the support and guidance he'd always needed. Butler understood that sometimes all talent needs is the right opportunity to flourish. But that's not all, Butler continued, his plan unfolding with the same precision he showed on the court. I want you to have the right tools to practice with. He pulled out a business card from his wallet, handing it to the teen. This is my personal piano dealer in Chicago. Tell him you're calling for me. We're going to get you a proper piano for your home. The morning light seemed to intensify, highlighting this moment of transformation. The teen's expression shifted from disbelief to determination, understanding that this wasn't just about receiving help, it was about being given the tools to pursue excellence, about having his dedication recognized and supported. Butler wasn't done yet. With the same focus he brought to game-winning shots, he was about to ensure that this opportunity would have lasting impact. I want updates, he said, his tone both friendly and firm. Every month, I want to know how you're progressing. Send me videos of what you're learning. Show me what you're working on. This wasn't just about a one-time gesture. It was about establishing a connection, about creating accountability and support. Butler understood that true mentorship isn't about quick fixes. It's about long-term commitment to someone's growth and development. The teen nodded, his posture straightening with new purpose. The piano keys beneath his fingers no longer felt like borrowed time. They represented a future full of possibility, a path forward illuminated by unexpected kindness and recognition. Around them, the airport continued its constant motion, announcements echoing overhead, travelers rushing to gates, life moving at its usual hectic pace. But in this corner, time seemed to stand still, marked by the weight of transformation and opportunity. One more thing, Butler said, pulling out a piece of paper and pen. I want you to promise me something. He wrote down his personal contact. Information, a direct line to someone who understood the value of mentorship and support. Promise me you'll never stop pushing yourself. Promise me you'll keep showing up early, keep practicing when no one's watching. The teen took the paper with careful hands, understanding that this wasn't just contact information. It was a lifeline, a connection to someone who believed in his potential. I promise, he said, his voice steady despite the emotion of the moment. Butler smiled, the kind of smile that came from recognizing a kindred spirit in the pursuit of excellence. Good. Now show me what else you've been working on. I've got some time before my flight. The teen turned back to the piano, his fingers finding the keys with new confidence. As he began to play, the music carried a different quality now. Not just notes and rhythms, but the sound of potential recognized, of dreams given wings, of dedication meeting opportunity. Travelers passing by might have seen an unusual sight, an NBA star sitting quietly beside an airport piano, listening intently as a young musician played. But what they were really witnessing was something far more profound. The moment when recognition of talent met the power of opportunity, when dedication met support, when dreams met the possibility of becoming reality. As the music filled the terminal, Butler watched with quiet satisfaction. This wasn't about creating a viral moment or generating positive press. It was about recognizing excellence, about understanding that sometimes the most important assists happen far from any basketball court. It was about remembering that true greatness lies not just in what you achieve, but in how you help others achieve their dreams. The morning light continued to stream through the terminal windows, illuminating this scene of unexpected connection and transformation. In the world of fast-paced travel and hurried goodbyes, a moment of genuine human connection had become something more, a story of recognition, opportunity, and the power of believing in someone's dreams. News of what happened that morning at Chicago O'Hare spread quickly, but not in the way most viral stories do. Instead of flashy headlines and sensational claims, it traveled through quiet conversations, through knowing smiles, through the kind of word of mouth that carries genuine impact. The story wasn't just about a celebrity's random act of kindness. It was about something far more profound. The young pianist's first lesson was scheduled for the following week, but Butler's influence had already begun to reshape his world. The piano dealer, responding to Butler's call, had arrived at the teen's home with not just any instrument, but a carefully selected grand piano that would normally be far beyond the family's means. But Butler had been specific. This wasn't about luxury. It was about providing the right tools for dedication to flourish. When you're serious about nurturing talent, Butler had told the dealer, you don't cut corners. You give them what they need to succeed. The dealer, who had worked with professional musicians for decades, recognized in Butler's words the same commitment to excellence he saw in master performers. The teen's family watched in amazement as the piano was carefully positioned in their living room, its polished surface reflecting the afternoon light. This wasn't just furniture. It was a statement of belief in their child's potential, a tangible symbol of the power of being seen and recognized. But Butler's impact extended beyond the physical instrument. Word of what happened at the airport had reached the teen's school, transforming how teachers and fellow students saw him. The band director, who had always noticed the young musician's dedication during his early morning practice sessions, now saw something more. A student whose passion had been validated by someone who understood the value of hard work. You know, the band director told his other students, success isn't about waiting for someone to discover you. It's about putting in the work when no one's watching, just like our friend here has been doing. Sometimes, though, someone does notice. And when they do, they recognize not just talent, but dedication. The story began to influence others in unexpected ways. Other students started showing up early to practice, inspired by the idea that dedication could open doors. The school's music program saw a surge of interest, not from students seeking overnight fame, but from those who understood that excellence requires commitment. Butler, true to his word, stayed connected. His first video call with the teen came just days after their airport encounter. He didn't just ask about the music, he wanted to know about the practice routine, about the challenges, about the small victories that marked the path to mastery. Remember, Butler said during that call, his face serious on the screen, what happened at the airport wasn't luck. You were there, putting in the work when most people would still be sleeping. That's what caught my attention. That's what excellence looks like. The teen's first proper piano lesson was a moment of both excitement and revelation. His new teacher, one of Chicago's most respected instructors, quickly recognized the foundation of self-taught discipline beneath the rough edges. You've got something special, the teacher observed. Not just talent, but the hunger to improve. That's rare. As weeks passed, the airport piano became something of a landmark. Travelers would pause, remembering the story they'd heard about the NBA star and the young musician. Some would share their own stories of unexpected kindness, of moments when someone believed in them enough to make a difference. The security guards who had always welcomed the teens' early morning practices now took special pride in their role. "We always knew he had something special," they'd tell curious passengers. "Sometimes you just need to give talent the space to grow." Butler's influence continued to ripple outward. Other professional athletes, hearing the story, began looking for similar opportunities in their own communities. It wasn't about replicating the exact scenario. It was about understanding the power of recognition, the importance of nurturing talent wherever it's found. The teen's progress on the piano accelerated with proper instruction and equipment. But more than his technical skills, it was his confidence that showed the most growth. Each practice session, each lesson, each small improvement was now backed by the knowledge that his dedication had been seen and valued. "It's not just about the music anymore," he told his family one evening after practice. "It's about understanding that when you commit yourself to something, really commit yourself, people notice. They might not notice right away, but they notice." Butler's regular check-ins became moments of mutual inspiration. The basketball star, known for his intense focus on improvement, found himself drawing parallels between their journeys. "You know," he told the teen during one call, "every time you tell me about mastering a new piece, about solving a technical challenge, it reminds me why I love what I do. Excellence recognizes excellence." The piano dealer, who had seen many instruments find their homes over the years, noticed something different about this placement. "Usually, when we deliver a piano this fine, it's to someone who's already made it," he reflected. "But this is about believing in what's possible. That's a whole different kind of music." As months passed, the story continued to evolve. The teen's progress became a testament not just to Butler's generosity, but to the power of what happens when dedication meets opportunity. His performances at school events took on new meaning, each one a demonstration of what's possible when someone believes in your potential. Local music programs began to take notice. Other young musicians, inspired by the story, found new confidence in their own pursuits. It wasn't about waiting for a celebrity to notice them. It was about understanding that dedication and hard work are worthy of recognition, that excellence deserves nurturing. Butler's own game seemed to take on new dimensions. Fans who knew the story saw something more in his intense focus, his commitment to improvement. They understood that his excellence on the court was part of a larger philosophy, one that recognized and celebrated the pursuit of mastery in all its forms. The airport piano remained, its keys still inviting travelers to pause and play, but now it stood for something more, a reminder that extraordinary moments can emerge from ordinary settings, that dedication can attract opportunity, that excellence recognizes excellence. Other airports began installing pianos in their terminals, not just as amenities, but as symbols of possibility. Each one carried a small plaque telling the story of the young musician and the NBA star who recognized more than just talent, who recognized the value of showing up, of putting in the work, of pursuing excellence when no one's watching. The teen's family noticed changes beyond his music. His approach to schoolwork, to challenges, to life itself shifted. "It's like he understood something fundamental," his mother observed. "Not just about music, but about how to pursue what matters to you." Butler's influence extended into unexpected areas. Business leaders began sharing the story in conferences, not as a feel-good moment, but as a lesson in recognizing and nurturing potential. Educational institutions examined their approaches to talent development, understanding that sometimes excellence needs more than just opportunity. It needs recognition and support. The regular video updates the teens sent to Butler became more than progress reports. They became a dialogue between two individuals committed to excellence, each inspiring the other to push further, to dig deeper, to reach higher. Their conversations ranged from technical challenges in music to the mental aspects of performance, from the importance of routine to the power of perseverance. "You know what I love about these talks?" Butler shared during one call. "They remind me that excellence isn't confined to any one field. Whether it's basketball or music, the principles are the same. Show up, put in the work, stay hungry to improve." As the story continued to spread, it took on different meanings for different people. For some, it was about the power of kindness. For others, it was about the importance of recognizing potential. But at its core, it remained a story about what happens when dedication meets opportunity, when excellence recognizes excellence, when someone takes the time to nurture the spark they see in another. The airport terminal where it all began remained, unchanged in many ways, still filled with hurrying travelers, still echoing with announcements and conversations. But for those who knew the story, it had become something more, a place where an ordinary morning practice session had transformed into an extraordinary lesson about the power of recognition, the importance of opportunity, and the lasting impact of believing in someone's dreams. 1 year after that fateful morning at Chicago O'Hare, the impact of Jimmy Butler's gesture continued to resonate far beyond its original ripples. The story had evolved into something more than a heartwarming tale of celebrity kindness. It had become a testament to the transformative power of recognition and the enduring impact of meaningful support. The young pianist, now preparing for his first major recital, still arrived early at the airport several mornings each week. But now, he wasn't alone. Other young musicians had begun gathering there too, turning the terminal into an impromptu conservatory before the morning rush. The airport authorities, recognizing the beauty of what was happening, had even designated specific hours for practice sessions. "It's not just about having a place to play," the teen explained to a local news crew that had come to document the phenomenon. "It's about understanding that every space can become a place for growth, for dedication, for pursuing excellence." His words carried the wisdom of someone who had learned that opportunities don't always come in traditional packages. Butler had kept his promise of staying connected, but his mentorship had evolved into something neither of them had initially expected. Their monthly video calls had become sessions of mutual inspiration, where discussions about music and basketball merged into deeper conversations about dedication, perseverance, and the pursuit of excellence. "You know what's remarkable?" Butler shared during one of their calls. "When I first heard you playing that morning, I recognized something familiar, not in the music itself, but in the dedication behind it. Now, watching how you've grown, how you've inspired others, I see something even more powerful. You've taken opportunity and turned it into impact." The piano that Butler had arranged for the teens' home had become more than just an instrument. It had become a symbol of possibility in the community. Other students would gather there for informal practice sessions, creating a space where dedication and mutual support flourished. The teens' family had embraced their role as custodians of this unexpected musical sanctuary. "Our living room isn't just our living room anymore," his mother reflected. "It's become a place where dreams take shape, where young people learn that their dedication matters, that their efforts can be seen and valued." That's what Jimmy gave us, not just a piano, but a purpose. The impact on the local music scene had been profound. Other established musicians, inspired by Butler's example, had begun seeking out young talents in unexpected places. They understood that excellence doesn't always have access to traditional platforms, that sometimes it needs to be discovered and nurtured where it grows. Butler's influence extended into his own professional sphere as well. Other athletes had begun looking beyond conventional charitable giving, seeking ways to create lasting impact through personal mentorship and sustained support. The story had sparked a conversation about the responsibility of success, not just to give back, but to lift others up. What Jimmy did, one of his teammates explained during a press conference, wasn't about making headlines. It was about recognizing excellence in its raw form and understanding that sometimes all talent needs is the right kind of support to flourish. That's changed how many of us think about our role in the community. The teen's first piano teacher, who had been skeptical of celebrity involvement at first, had become one of the story's most passionate advocates. What makes this different, she explained to her other students, is the emphasis on dedication over raw talent. Jimmy didn't just give a gift, he recognized and rewarded commitment. That's a powerful message for any young person pursuing their passion. The airport piano had gained almost mythical status. Travelers would often pause there, sharing stories of their own encounters with unexpected kindness, of moments when someone's belief in them had changed their trajectory. The instrument had become a symbol of possibility, a reminder that extraordinary moments can emerge from ordinary settings. Local schools had begun rethinking their approach to talent development, understanding that excellence can manifest in many forms, and that support needs to be both practical and sustained. The teen's story had become a case study in effective mentorship, demonstrating how recognition combined with practical support could create lasting change. The most powerful part, the school's music director observed, isn't just the improvement in his playing. It's how he's become a mentor himself, how he uses his experience to encourage others. That's how you create lasting impact, by teaching those you help to help others. Butler's regular check-ins had evolved to include discussions about the teen's own mentorship efforts. That's what this was always about, Butler explained during one call. Not just helping one person succeed, but creating a cycle of support and recognition. You're doing that now, and that's what makes this story continue to matter. The impact had spread to other airports across the country. Many had installed pianos, but more importantly, they had begun creating spaces for young people to practice and perform. These spaces became symbols of possibility, reminders that talent and dedication can flourish in unexpected places. 1 year after their first meeting, Butler attended the teen's first major recital. The basketball star sat quietly in the audience, watching as the young musician commanded the stage with the same dedication he had shown that early morning in the airport. The performance wasn't just a demonstration of musical skill, it was a testament to what becomes possible when dedication meets opportunity. "You know what I see when I watch you play now?" Butler asked afterward. "I see someone who understands that excellence isn't just about personal achievement, it's about lifting others up along the way. That's what makes this story matter." The teen's response reflected the depth of his growth. "What I've learned," he said, "goes far beyond music. It's about understanding that when you receive support, you have a responsibility to extend it to others. That's what creates lasting change." The story had become part of both their legacies, not as a simple tale of celebrity kindness, but as an example of how recognition and sustained support can transform not just individuals, but entire communities. It demonstrated that true impact comes not from singular gestures, but from ongoing commitment to nurturing potential. "Sometimes, people ask me why I still practice at the airport," the teen shared during a documentary interview. "They think now that I have a piano at home. I don't need to." But that's not what it's about. It's about remembering where this journey began, about being visible to others who might need to see that dedication matters, that their efforts can be recognized. Butler's own perspective on the experience had deepened over the year. Success comes with responsibility, he reflected during a rare personal interview. Not just to give back, but to really see people, to recognize dedication, to support potential, to understand that sometimes all excellence needs is the right opportunity to flourish. The impact continued to ripple outward, touching lives in unexpected ways. Other young musicians, inspired by the story, had found new confidence in their pursuits. Community organizations had begun creating programs that emphasized long-term mentorship over one-time assistance. The story had become a blueprint for meaningful impact. As the teen prepared for his next performance, now a regular occurrence at community events, he carried with him not just musical skill, but a deeper understanding of excellence and its responsibilities. His playing had become more than personal expression. It was a demonstration of what becomes possible when dedication meets opportunity, when excellence recognizes excellence. The airport terminal where it all began remained a special place, not just for the teen and Butler, but for anyone who understood the power of dedication and the importance of being seen. The piano stood as a testament to the extraordinary possibilities that can emerge from ordinary moments, to the lasting impact of recognition and support. 1 year later, the story continued to unfold, not as a finished tale, but as an ongoing reminder that true change happens when we recognize excellence in others and commit to nurturing it. It wasn't just about music or basketball anymore. It was about understanding that every act of recognition, every gesture of support, has the potential to create lasting positive change.